Greco-esque hand fighting.
We go to 197. Where Jacob Meisner out of the great state of Minnesota will face off and try and take down Silas Allred, representing the Big Red. I mean, it seems like it's just in his blood, given the nature of his name, to represent the Big Red.
Now after this, we got something going on interesting with the other 197-pounder for ASU. You know, because without Tarek Sutkovich and, you know, Colton Schultz, they're going to have to put Damian Shunky, the other 197-pounder, as their heavyweight. So maybe he's back in the locker room right now trying to bulk up a few pounds, but arm and all.
Shunky was given the difficult task of facing off against Michael Beard of Lehigh last night, a top 10 wrestler in the country who tech-followed Shunky in the end, but the Sun Devils came out with that dual victory. Nebraska stretching their advantage to now 15-9 in favor of the Cornhuskers. An initial shot here by Jacob Meisner, trying to push Allred out of bounds. And coming in fearless with that tape around his left arm is Damian Shunky, as he's been out of the lineup recently due to that injury, trying to battle through for his team. Meisner 2-12 this season. He's battled hard through his sophomore campaign. Just hasn't had the wins to show for it. Silas Allred 19-5 on the year, 10-2 in duels. The sophomore out of Anderson, Indiana. 146-2 was Allred in his high school career. And yeah, another shot here by Meisner, but Allred trying to counterattack. Reach for that near leg in whizzer position. Some great early attacks here by Meisner, kind of catching Allred off guard.
Yeah, he had the leg for a second, and if he didn't get broken down himself, he was going to have, you know, enough pressure to push over, but
Meisner going back and forth with Allred. Allred in on the shot. Now he fires off his own attack. Meisner not in great position. As Allred tries to turn the corner and he'll finish off. Meisner bellies out. Meisner a standout for the Cornhuskers last year, an NCAA qualifier, and the reigning Big Ten champion at 197 pounds. 48-12 in his career, just 5 losses this year, 7 last year. Nearly 60 wins, nearly 70 wins for him in his career. And yet another takedown as Allred trying to find his groove and is starting to find it.
and this is where you start to get the concern point of, you know, unranked wrestler versus top 15 in the country is, you know, he looked like he was making Allred uncomfortable initially, especially with those 2 takedowns that, you know, almost actually converted into actual takedowns, but now we're starting to see that he's giving up the double leg easier than he would probably like to.
Allred voted by his teammates as the most dedicated wrestler. Last year's Cornhusker squad. It's shown, it seems like his eye is on the prize. It seems like he doesn't like to lose, and he hasn't lost a whole lot. Now he's been the aggressor throughout the rest of this second period. Turning up the tune against Meisner. Allred now continuing his persistence. Goes for a duck under and powers through Meisner for his 4th straight takedown.
This is where you start to get into tech fall territory, but, you know, Allred's realize, you know, able to grab that single leg from a sprawl position and, you know, break down the knee so that there's no leverage on it. It's forward pressure, and that leads to a takedown almost every time on Meisner. So I'm assuming the next takedown is going to be the exact same thing.
Allred finished the period on top. As clock winds down, goes for a tilt. trying to get some back points. Meisner will allow it. And a 12-3 lead for Mr. Silas Allred. An incredible high school career, 146-2 is Allred. Two-time Indiana state champion. Shunky was a state champion at the AAA level in Minnesota at 220. He's cut some weight now to get down to 197. It's been a rough go this sophomore campaign as Allred just on a different level so far in his wrestling career. Allred, also just a clacked-axe person. So he had a 4.317 GPA in high school. He's the Dave Schultz High School Excellence Award recipient, Flow Nationals champion, and he also won the Big Ten Sportsmanship Award in 2023, so you can tell he's just going to be a great human being beyond the wrestling mat and beyond his wrestling skills. And Shunky trying to find an attack. Can't get there. Meisner giving it his all. Allred continuing to work on his attacks as he prepares.
As soon as he frees up that ankle, he can just immediately turn through him and then back exposure.
And he does. One more takedown would do it for Allred. He's still in control, no release yet. Allred in on the ankle pick. He turns the corner and that will do it. A technical fall victory for Silas Allred. Makes it 20-9 in favor of Nebraska. And that they will run away with it in this duel, and they will just likely forfeit the heavyweight match. So we won't get to see and tell the story of Zach Hutchmaker, the undefeated four-time state champion in South Dakota, the great football player for Nebraska, the honorable mention. All Big Ten as a football player, joined the wrestling team recently, picks up the win by a forfeit to round off the duel as Nebraska takes it 26-9, but some great individual victories sifted in there for ASU.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking at this from an ASU Nationals perspective, you saw what you wanted to see. You got, the win with Richard Figueroa, and he wasn't favored rankings-wise, and he, number 2, now number 5, wins for him, and then Kyle Parco winning against number 1. I mean, you saw the key matchups, and that just goes to the disparity between the importance of duels in the season and the importance of how your team does at Pac-12 and NCAAs.
And that is where they are headed. Both these teams now preparing for postseason competition. Nebraska preparing for the Big Ten tournament, and ASU preparing for the Pac-12 tournament over there